Good morning, kiddos. Hope all is well. Happy Friday. So, I was just coming on to talk for a few minutes about fog. I feel like I've been pretty detailed in most of my other videos to you. So, hopefully, you've kind of gotten the idea of what you need to do. Um, First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to address this fog stuff. Your scavenger hunt is due today. You've gotten everything in. I see a few people have emailed me with questions again this morning. Once again, I will have office hours next week, Tuesday and Thursday, and I will post to you more about that next week. Thank you to those of you who communicated with me via email saying you needed to ask a clarifying question or you need more time. I'm rocking this shirt because yesterday should have been opening day for my Mets, but didn't happen. Hopefully your Nats will have their opening day celebration soon, even though, fortunately it's postponed. So this morning I wanted to talk to you quickly about fog. So I opened up my computer just so you could see. So here is the PowerPoint that I shared with you guys. So fog is fats, oils, and greases. And like I was telling you the other day, you need to make sure that when you're cooking, that you are making sure not to put the fats, oils, and greases down the drain. And I told you my story about cooking the other day. Well, here's another story for you before I even get into this. So, aside. So we ordered sushi 2 nights ago and we had it delivered. And then last night I cooked burgers. And we had just finished that jar for me cooking, initially cooking the hamburgers, initially cooking the meat sauce. What else did I make? Meatballs and tacos the other night. I had this big tray of meat and I had a big full glass jar, a pasta jar, of fats, oils, and greases. So as I let it cool down, and then I wrapped it up in the plastic bag like I told you, and then I put it in the garbage. So when we ordered the sushi, I had to clean up after that. And when we actually unfroze the burgers last night and cooked them, we used some oil. So we're out of pasta bottles right now because we have like 2 bottles of sauce left, I think, at his house and a couple at mine. But point is, we didn't have an empty bottle. So you can also use a water bottle. So in here on the bottom, if you remember the density station, some of you didn't get to the density station, you can see the layers. So on the bottom is the soy sauce with the wasabi, and on the top is the vegetable oil from cooking the burgers. So obviously, I let it cool down first because this is a plastic bottle for the top layer. It would melt that. But the bottom layer was already cool because, you don't heat up the soy sauce and the wasabi. You just mix it together with the chopsticks. So I poured it in here. And then I let the pan cool down last night. And once the pan was cooled down and it was at room temperature, I took a funnel and I put in the olive oil from cooking the burgers. And then I wiped the pan out with a paper towel, making sure that it was completely wiped down before I then rinsed it and put it in the dishwasher. Very important that we rinse things before we put them in the dishwasher. So this fats, oils, and greases unit that we're discussing has to do with making sure that our sewer system stays clean. So I'm just going to show you here some of the slides. So as I said, I wanted you to go over this with your parents so you could see it a little bit better. But fog is fats, oils, and grease, and it's a combination of animal fats and or vegetables that are used to prepare food and are found in food. And the whole point of the 3-2-1 activity, when you get to that after you do the Freire model, which is basically understanding the definitions and kind of looking at them in a more abstract view, is to understand how the sewer system is a lot like our human body. So we have all these veins going through our body that send blood and oxygen and nutrients from the top of our heads to our brain, to our heart, to our lungs, all the way down to our toes. And it helps our different systems run, our respiratory system, our cardiovascular system, etc. So we can't clog that up. If any of you have heard of artery disease or a blood clot, very similar to what happens in the pipes of our water system. If we pour this nasty stuff down it, it's going to gunk up. Now this morning I sent out a resource just so you could look at it a little further. It's from the Baltimore Sun. It's a picture of something called the fatberg. The fatberg was this disgusting thing of fat that gunked up and actually made the water system overflow. So imagine if all the nasty stuff you poured down the drain came back up. So you were walking outside and the sewers were overflowing with gunk, And I'm not just talking about like food waste, I'm talking about sanitary waste, the stuff you flush down the toilet. So it's a very serious thing. So apparently a lot of people don't take it seriously enough. There's a comparison here to the sewer system in the body. And there's a little bit of an example of talking about the arteries more in detail and about what the pipes looked like when they actually went underground and saw why certain systems were clogging and having backlog. So when that backlog comes out of the sewers, it runs off into our streams. And as I said, everything that runs into our streams run into our water table, which then that water that's processed in our water treatment plant, you know, it takes longer to process it and clean it because it's got extra stuff compared to the normal stuff that it's filtering for. And it eventually gets back into the ocean, hurting our animals. As I said, everything goes back to the ocean. And the ocean is the center of the life on this planet. The ocean really controls everything. It regulates weather, it regulates temperature, it regulates climate. It even regulates what's going on right now in some way or another. But I'm not going to get all deep into that right now. So, anyway, so what I want you to talk about with your parents is looking at your human body and understanding how we can prevent fog and any damage in our human body, also by eating healthier. You know, I know Mr. Cooper has talked to you about this. So understanding that our bodies can get built up just like the sewer system, this nasty picture here. That's also, you'll see that on the 3-2-1 activity. So I want you to spend some time talking about this with your parents. I'm going to post some more videos later next week just for you to watch. They're put out by the Western Branch Water Treatment Plant, which is local in Accokeek. And they're really passionate about this project because they've spent so much extra time and money having to clean things up, because until we started doing this program, a lot of people were not very clear about understanding what really happens when they put stuff down the drain. They think, oh, just wash it away, you know, not a big deal. But, you know, those pipes, the water's got to travel. It's got to travel to the water treatment plant. It's got to travel to other people's houses. It's got to travel to businesses. Like, there's a lot deeper and more complex understanding of it than you probably have. So I will share those videos with you next week. So the Frayer model has been pushed back to Tuesday, and the 3-2-1 activity has been pushed back to Thursday. I will check in with you probably midweek on Wednesday via video when I share those extra resources. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to email me. As I said, your JLab is still due on Wednesday, and I will have a Zoom open office hour on Tuesday and Thursday, and I will post about that. Love you. Stay well. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye.